Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It is your spiritual bestie Infinity Bay, and today we're going to be discussing the things I swore by on my spiritual journey. First and foremost, please, in the words of Jamie Foxx, please excuse my hands, okay? My nail appointment is tomorrow, so your girl is looking a little busted right now, all right? Anyway, let's go ahead and let's get into this video and talk about the things I swore by on my spiritual journey and why I swore by these things and how it helped me and how it kind of didn't help me. Let's get into it. Okay, friends, so things I swore by on my spiritual journey. Number one was my ancestor altar, okay? That was really how I was introduced into getting into, y'all get what I'm trying to say, how I was introduced to this whole thing, how I started my spiritual foundation. I started with an ancestor altar. I won't get too deep into how this all connected, but I'm just going to tell you this. I was suggested to listen to this podcast. This podcast was great. It's called A Little Juju Podcast. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. If you have not, definitely check that out. And her first episode was Ancestor First, period. So that's how I started. I learned how to build an ancestor altar. I learned how to connect with my ancestors. So the things I purchased to build my ancestor altar was a wooden table. I just went to like the Goodwill and stuff like that and just got a wooden table. I had a pretty white cloth. I think it was pretty. I had a white cloth, and I got things of the element of the earth, something that represented fire, something that represented water, something that represented air, and something that represented the earth. So, for example, water was obviously a glass of water. Now, the reason why we put a glass of water on our ancestor altar, because it is said to be the way that they travel, like their spirit is like allowing them to come through that glass of water. And for fire, I had a white candle that I use. Fire is the light to guide them to you. Things from the earth, I just got like some little seashells from like the Dollar Tree and stuff like that to represent the earth. Flowers can also represent the earth. White flowers will be great to add onto your ancestor altar. Also, to represent air, I use incense. So that is the basic stuff you will start with when you want to build your ancestor altar. Now, you just put only your people who passed away, no obituaries, no pictures with other people on there is what you want to stay away from when you do build your ancestor altar. But anyway, that is the basic. You give them a wonderful offering. Start with fruit, nothing too major. And as you go along and you understand and you remember the things that your passing ones, your loved one who passed away, love when they were here on earth, go ahead and give it to them. Cigarettes, beer, spirits love liquor, all of that stuff that they love, type of food they love, desserts they loved, all of that. You can place money on there. All of that stuff, go ahead and give that to your ancestors and watch how they begin to communicate with you and let you know that they received your offerings. Personally, when it came to using my ancestor altar, my ancestors wasted no time with letting me know that they were there and communicating with me. So, throughout time, we grew a relationship and a foundation. And it's something that I was always have extremely been grateful for. I will write petitions to them. Petitions is something I'm going to go into that later because that's one of my things I swear by. But I would do things like that. And my ancestor, I would pray for them. I would elevate them. I would heal them. And me healing them healed myself. Me praying for them. I really, to be honest with you, the things I prayed for was the things I know I needed in my life. And I needed healing in certain areas because a lot of the times they experienced a lot of things we experienced. Any type of trauma, hurt, abandonment, addictions, anything like that. I prayed for that and heal them in that, and they blessed me in ways of return. Now, ways that I would say that it didn't work for me was I was already suffering from codependency getting into this journey. So it became a thing of codependency with my ancestors. I expected certain things from them. I expected this whole grand and lavish life now because I was finally free from the trauma, and I was blessed with a lot of things with their assistance. And that's the thing, ancestors are here to assist you. You do not worship them. You do not, praise them in a certain way. You know, it's not a whole thing like how you worship, you know, God. And a lot of people in religion, you know, if they worship Jesus and stuff like that, you don't do that with your ancestors. It's pretty much just a relationship. And, you know, I just really grew codependent on them and got a lot of things that they assisted me with, like I said. And when things hit the fan and shit fell apart, you know, I was angry for a while because I was trying to understand why would y'all help assist me with all of these things, and now I've lost everything. I've been doing the same thing I've been doing since we started this relationship. But what I learned and I had to humble myself with is that I had to lose a lot of that stuff to see myself. I had to see myself. I had to see the mistakes I was making. I had to see the things I was doing. So that is the way it really didn't work for me. And then it's a relationship I had to repair with them, a trust I had to repair with them, because I did feel left out there, but they never left me. Another thing I swore by when I started my spiritual journey, and I'm going to put these two together, there are floor washes and spiritual bath. I am a herb girl. I love herbs. I love to use that in the work that I do. So I would have floor washes and I would have spiritual baths, and I would prepare these two things with the intentions that I would, you know, whatever intentions I needed to set, whether if it's just to cleanse and protect and remove any negative or low vibrational energy I needed to move, any energy that might have attached to me. I would make sure I did it like a ritual. That was something that I did. I would use certain herbs. So depending on what kind of, you know, what you were looking for, that's the herbs you will find that will connect with that said intention, and you will make it into a bath or a floor wash. Now here's the thing. Those things are just for you to dunk on you and wash your floors with. They are not to clean. So you don't want to like get clean with your spiritual bath. You should be clean already. You know, even if you just take a shower first and then you can dunk yourself right after, that's fine. Just don't do these things with the, you know, not being clean already. Same thing with your floor washes. Your floor should be swept, should be clean. I would even take my floor wash sometimes and clean my walls. And I remember times where I did that and I would just get like a blessing of like $1,000 within the next couple of days. Things that would come to me when I was in need, because I set my intention, I cleansed, I did all of that stuff. So I swore by floor washes and spiritual bath. And with the very much of a, I can't think of the word I'm trying to say right now, but when it came to white baths, okay, a white bath, get you some nice coconut milk, whatever kind of milk you want to use, honey, roses, jasmine flowers. Just make this beautiful, beautiful bath, and, you know, set your intentions over it, whatever herbs you want to use in that too, as well. Cleanse yourself and stuff, and just dunk yourself in a beautiful white bath. I swore by those things to cleanse my energy. I am very much of an individual who has to keep their energy cleansed. I should be a little bit more, you know, a little better with that. You know, I'm just being honest, but that is something I definitely swore by when I started my spiritual journey. Next, and I mentioned this very, you know, in the spiritual baths and floor washes, is herbs. I swore by herbs. Some people love their stones and their crystals. I love those things too, but I am definitely a herb girly. I love herbs. I love connecting with them. I love using them for my candle work that I have. I have a dress, a little small one right here. I will be putting this up after that work is done, because, you know, I don't want no energy interrupting my work, but there's that. I'm definitely a herb girly. I love dressing candles. I even have a little small mini honey jar right here. And if you guys are interested in purchasing one of these from me, I will link my Etsy shop down below. I am selling these now for not too much, for about like $12 for this. I set my intentions with it. You can tell me what you need, and I will put that petition in there for you and dress it and give it honey and ship this right out to you. So yeah, just a little plug for myself. But yes, I swear by herbs. I love them. I love how they smell. I love all of that stuff. So definitely a herb girly. Definitely feel like we can get a lot of healing through natural herbs. So yeah, I swear by that when I began my journey, and I still to this day swear by them. Okay, moving on. So another thing I swore by at the beginning of my journey was tarot. I am a tarot girly. I love tarot, and I was into tarot way before I even got into my spiritual journey. I remember my first tarot reading was when I was in college, and it definitely resonated. And yeah, I've always been that type of girl. So when I got into my journey, I started with actually getting a reading done as well and listening to that. And, I kept going on with that. And as far as that goes, I know how to read tarot myself. I do not offer readings because I do not want to take on that much energy of other people, because tarot, it is a lot tapping into someone's energy like that, and it could be really draining. So I do not offer it to other people. Now, the thing with tarot, I used to be very heavy on it in the beginning, getting readings, listening to YouTube videos, and doing all of that stuff. But then I slowly began to get away from it, not because it's anything negative. It's just that when you are into tarot, sometimes how on point it could be, it can cause you to be very dependent on it. You kind of want to get a tarot reading for anything in your life, and it kind of takes away from that power of listening to your inner self and your inner knowing. So I separated myself from it, so I wouldn't, because I was becoming too dependent on it. That was for me personally, and that's what a lot of people don't talk about when they talk about tarot, and they want to paint it as negative. Sometimes people become too dependent on it, and they're still searching for this thing that can be dependent on all the time, instead of being honest and knowing that you became addicted to this thing, and it's okay to take a break from it or stop doing it overall. But tarot is not an evil thing, because everything is about intention behind it, no matter what it is. So that was something I've really used a lot on my journey, but in a way that it didn't work for me. I was becoming a little dependent on it, and I wanted to step away from that and really grow into listening to my intuition, letting my intuition become stronger, my higher self become more, hearing her more, hearing spirit more, just naturally within myself. So tarot was absolutely a big thing, but it's just, I kind of flip cards sometimes, but I don't do it nearly as much as I used to anymore. I'm not really into astrology now. Like, that's my jam right there. But yeah, so that was one thing that I also used on my journey. I swore by at the beginning. Now, something else I swore by that's pretty similar to tarot readings but different is ancestral readings. I had someone that I would, go to connect with my ancestors and give me the messages they have for me. In the beginning of my journey, that was a big thing for me, was getting ancestral readings and allowing someone who was a bit more experienced in that to connect with them and tell me what they were saying, messages and guidance that they wanted to give me that I will sometimes miss. Sometimes it's easier to go to a person on the outside because they're not as flustered about your situation as you are. So I swore by ancestral readings. I swore by listening to what my ancestors needed to let me know through these readings and connections. Now, that is also something I don't do that much anymore, because I do not feel the need to do it. Sometimes on your spiritual journey, you become a bit more independent with things, and that's just what life, growth in every area. I appreciate those readings so much. However, I feel like I just gotten to a point where I kind of understand the direction a bit more now, and I understand the relationship a lot more now with me and my ancestors. So I don't need the readings as much now. If I ever want it to happen, and just like I have a lot of loved ones that passed away, and particularly my younger brother passed away about 3 years ago. So if I really want to do that, I would do some more to connect with him and just like really hear what he needs to say. But and whatever ancestor want to come through as well, it wouldn't be more so of a guidance thing. It would be just more so of me allowing someone else to tap in, that I don't have to tap in with too much of my emotion in, if that makes sense. And like I said, a lot of that stuff take a lot of energy tapping in and stuff like that. And that is just not something that that God has placed me to do, was to really dive deep and tap in like someone who professionally does this does. But that is definitely something I swore by, and I highly recommend that. If that is your thing and you're interested in that, highly recommend getting a ancestral reading done and listening to what your ancestors have to say to you. So, yeah, there's that. Lastly, I'm going to put these two things together. Something else I swore by when I started my journey was writing out petitions and doing workings. So I practice hoodoo a lot. I practice magical workings a lot. And I would write out petitions and manifesting the things I want. And I would hand them over to my ancestors. And I would try my best to surrender and allow those things to come to me. And I will also do certain workings if I needed a little push or and even workings is tied into spiritual baths and floor washes as well. But I would do candle work, I would do honey jars, I would do work with water and stuff like that. So I swore by doing work-ins. I would give offerings to receive what I needed back 10 times fold. I would do protection stuff, return to sender, whatever I felt like I needed to do. I did. I did take a break from doing work-ins because I hit a point in my own personal journey. Like I said before, I was kind of bamboozled and confused, like we all get through life, where things aren't going the way that you really want them to go and would like them to go. So I stepped away from a second just to really figure things out for myself. But I have been getting called back and guided back into doing that. And I have been doing some stuff, and I'm seeing it working for me again because I am tapped into that woman that I'm supposed to be, my divine feminine energy, and I am allowing those things to work for me. So workings was a big thing I did for myself on my journey. I've done it sometimes for other people, but like people, my family and close friends, I never offered the services really outside for other people. But yeah, so that is something I really swore by on my spiritual journey in the beginning as well. All right, friends, so there you have it. Those are the things that I swore by on my spiritual journey. If you have some things that you swore by, feel free to drop them down in the comment section below. If you like this video, if you enjoyed this video, I should say, please go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see more content from me, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, and it is free. Again, if you are interested in purchasing any herbs or any honey jars and stuff like that from me, go ahead and check down in the description box, and I have dropped links to my Etsy shop below. Help your girl out because I am growing that. But other than that, thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you later. Bye.